is lately, and it's bummed me out about
I tried to get into the third body problem. You know what turned me off
three body
about it?
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Uh, the Chinese names,
Yes.
because in a book like it, for example, the characters are Beverly, Bill, um, Tony,
And were you
things like
reading?
that.
Just easy
Were
names.
you
Yeah.
reading or audiobook?
Reading, well, I'm in prison,
Yeah.
and so like I very quickly know who Beverly is. She's the only girl. But soon I remember who Bill is, and who Trash Mouth is, like who each of them are. And so when I read their name, I have my own personal mental image of who they are and what their backstory is and what their relevance is. But when I see Wu Zing King and Cheng Kao Hall, I don't know if it's a man or a woman. And I'm like, maybe after reading this for 5 days, by then I'll have grasped who each of these people are by their make-believe name. But like I don't even know like what I'm pretty sure with Chinese names, the first part is the last name and the last part is the real name. So like
I think you're
their
right.
names will be like Wu Kin Pao, but his sister might be named Wu Ching Chang, or whatever. Like because Wu is both of their last names. It just comes first. And like I know that, but that's not going to help me when I read fast. And like I'm going fast. And if I have to with that book, I was having to look at each name and really like, all right. Wu Zhen Pao. Okay, he's the teacher. Okay, keep going.
I agree with your criticism. I had the same one, but I had a cheat code, and I listened to the audiobook. I didn't read it, and I learned the audiobook. Whoever did that, I don't know who, did such a good job. I never learned their names, but I instantly recognized their voices.
That's great. If I could get a version of that book where they westernized it and just gave them American westernized names, if they changed them to like Bill and Jim and Tracy,
Tommy Chong,
even Tommy Chong would help a lot. Tommy Chong is pretty easy. I can handle that, but they're difficult Chinese names, at least to my ignorant Western eyes.
If someone's name Zoo,
similar.
I don't need anyone else named like Zuzis.
Za.
Yeah, or something like that. Like, no.
Zoo, Za, get over here.
I'm like, wait, yeah, that's a challenge for me too.
Yeah. And maybe for them when they're like, hey, this one is the name of Brian, and this one is the name of Bill. Which is a which?
And the beer say, yeah. I can guess that the silly accent part of your personality didn't make much of an appearance in prison.
No,
No,
it didn't.
Snow, you sound like this to me. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, he got out the chink. Chomos, eh? Oh, my name is Snow. I'm a gangster.
I wonder how Snow would respond to that. Like when you hung out with Snow, did you ever get to be like a peer relationship, or were you always
absolutely.
like, yes, sir, I love running?
No. It was always peers for sure. Like he would ask me about stuff, and we were definitely on the same level.
You didn't challenge him in some of these things, like
well, with the racism and stuff, I don't challenge anybody with unless it's somebody in like my circle. Like if Taylor were genuinely being like over the top racist, and it was just he and I in private, I'd be like, man, you really don't like gingers, huh? Because that's unusual that someone actually literally hates them. It's really
said
just more
you
of
would
a...
never bring that
up. but when Snow would like Snow's got this ingrained racism from probably in part from his 10 years being quote unquote down. So like I'm not going to change his mind about that. So there's no reason for me to challenge that. I'm not going to convince this man who spent 10 years in the federal prison system that all the races are just a rainbow of happiness and love. Like he's gonna be like, oh really? Because 8 black guys killed my brother Choli. I'm like, oh, not Choli. Yeah. You're not gonna get there.
I could circle back to prison stories again.
Choli.
I got my list over here.
I'm
it's
spelled Jolie, but yeah.
No, you guys are right. I'm just excited.
So yeah, I just didn't want to challenge. No, I didn't challenge any of that stuff, but we were definitely on the same level. Like I would say peers for sure. Like it wasn't like I think he saw me as like, he took on almost like kind of like a mentor sort of position in a way for sure, because there was so much I didn't know. I was so ignorant about so many things, and I had a lot of questions, and he was definitely looking after me, making sure I didn't do anything I shouldn't do, and making sure that nobody like did anything to me that they shouldn't do.
What a cool guy.
Really nice guy. Like he would check on me 4 or 5 times a day. Like he'd go by my bunk and be like, "Everything okay? You good? All right, Sleepy. See you later."
Was
You
he
know,
the biggest guy there, like as far as musculature
How do
and
you
shit?
stack rank?
He was definitely top 5%. There were a lot of guys who worked out, but a lot of the workouts were like pickleball, which is like tennis with rackets, and a little basketball. Not
Tennis with
like
paddles, maybe.
paddles. Thanks. Yeah. Or running. But he was one of the guys who was lifting heavy because there weren't any weights. There weren't
Yeah,
any
you
real
can't
equipment.
bench and shit, right? Like you just push ups and pull ups, I guess.
Saving that for tomorrow. The homemade workout equipment. Yeah.
Oh God, I should have led with that. I was so interested. Damn it! Like it's just
Yeah.
like a Gatorade bottle full of cement. Like
You're not too far off. You'll
wrote
find
it
out
down.
tomorrow. It's absurd. It's
You say
absurd.
tomorrow. I think you mean next week.
Next week. Yeah.
Well, time's blended together for this guy for a little
Well,
bit. Right
This man
now.
can do
all
a
the
week
same
sitting
to
on his
me.
head. Is no big deal. For him, it's tomorrow.
Oh my God.
This isn't even like a prison related thing, but like, what were the top few kind of thoughts throughout your tenure there, where like when you were just feeling down in the dumps and you're looking at that wall and there's 49 days left, like what was the comfort thought or thoughts that you would jump to, like food related or
Yeah. I would think about sex and food. Those were the two things. And if it depended on which I wanted more. If I just had eaten, I think about sex. But if I had gone like 3 days without eating, I would think about food. But it was one or the other. I was thinking about food or sex like the whole fucking time. And it was I would say it was 50-50 between the two. And there was I would think about the meals I was going to cook, the things I wanted to eat. Commercials would come on TV for food, and it was torturous. Like Olive Garden was having this whole thing where you like buy one entree, you get another for $5.99 or something like that, and like try one of our favorites, like chicken Alfredo, and top that off with never-ending salad and breadsticks. And I'm like, Snow, you ever had those breadsticks? He's like, yeah, them breadsticks, he's good, Holmes. I was like,
Meanwhile,
you
Kyle
like that
hasn't eaten for 4 days.
you like that Alfredo sauce or that 5-cheese marinara? Yo, I get them both. I make it rain at the Olive Garden for your family.
Dude, when I'm there, I'm fucking family, man. Wait, that's their catchphrase too.
When does he get out? Did you say 2 years?
He might get out, and it's up in the air because of the way that see a lot of people in there are getting jacked up by like the prison system, where it's like they can give them as much halfway house as they want and as much home confinement as they want. So if somebody wanted to, they could be like, hey, Snow, we're going to give you a year in the halfway house. That comes right off a sentence. It's like this much of your sentence is going to be spent there. And we're going to give you this much of like home confinement after that. So you can leave here in 2 months. They could do that if they really wanted. It's more likely it's going to be somewhere in between, and he's hoping to get out in April. But what's probably going to happen, because he was a gang member and is quote unquote a threat to society, as the case manager told him a few weeks ago, and he was real bummed out. He was real sad when I left too. I could tell.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, it was they probably going to be like next year or the year after 2021, I think. Like